Brynlee proceeds to tell her that this is how daddy tells me to put lotion on. And so, of course, like any mom does, she starts asking her daughter questions. So that's when that social worker was like, we need to push for this, because they felt the mom was brainwashing the kids, and that the court system is like gaslighting these fucking kids, essentially. The police are like coming to the house to come get the kids.
Right.
And the kids are like, no, we're not going. So they decide to barricade themselves in their bedroom, in Ty's bedroom. So they go around and grab a bunch of supplies. Hey guys, welcome to Girl Did You Hear?
The ultimate bestie hangout. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Kristen. Today is episode 87.
Dude, we're almost to 90.
Just trucking along as always.
What else are we gonna do?
I mean, you know, week by week, we just get closer and closer to 100.
Exactly.
Yes. We have made it to over 500 subscribers. Did you know that?
Yay! Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much for your support. Definitely hit that like and subscribe. Make sure
Spread
to
the
share
word.
with a friend.
Right.
We watched
The Nightmare Upstairs. What happened to Ty and Brynlee?
Yeah.
This is on Hulu right now. It's a 2-part series, and it's kind of a bummer story.
It is. It's a crazy story. It's about a family in Utah.
Can you guess what religion they follow?
They are part of the LDS
community.
Which is strange.
Well, it's really like more Brent's family. I love how they put it in there that they were the Brent's family was traced back to the founders of the LDS.
Which is wild.
Yeah. So he was entrenched in those rules and values, which explains a lot.
Definitely. Cute little family. You know, mom Jessica and dad Brent, they marry pretty quickly.
Yeah. He
Have a
dared
kid.
her, said, I bet you won't marry me.
Yeah.
And she's like, yep, I did. And then years later, they have their first Ty.
And then a little while after that, they have Brynlee, the little sister. Things aren't really going well for them.
By the time Bryn's on this world.
Yeah.
So they divorce right around when she's an infant, I think.
Yeah, pretty close. Jessica moves out to get in her own apartment. And from there, things kind of like take a weird turn for the worse, you could say. So at the time, they were kind of just like splitting custody
As
normal people.
Divorced
like,
parents do.
you know, with whatever their court orders were with their lawyers, you know, pretty cut and dry at that point.
Pretty normal.
Yeah. One day, Brynlee comes home from school and she goes take a shower or whatever, and she comes out, and when she comes out of the shower, she, like, for whatever reason, in like the hallway area, decides to put lotion on, like drop her towel and put lotion on her body after the shower. And she was putting the lotion in places that really lotion doesn't go.
Right.
You know?
I mean, especially for a child of her age.
Yes.
Because she was like
7
or something like that.
Yeah.
She was still pretty young. So
Yeah.
like, I mean, I get it. I put on lotion after every
too.
shower, but I don't,
dry as
I
hell
don't
out
go
here.
to that extent.
No. And the mom, Jessica, like happened to notice, and she's like, what are you
What
doing?
are you doing?
And Brynlee proceeds to tell her that this is how daddy tells me to put lotion on. And so, of course, like any mom does, she starts asking her daughter questions, and Brynlee starts explaining things pretty descriptively,
Right.
you know, for a 7-year-old of inappropriate things that were happening. And Jessica, the mom, just goes into immediate mama bear mode.
Yeah.
Doesn't even say anything to Brent about what the daughter said.
Nope.
Immediately just contacts
She
her
just
lawyer
contacts-
and the
and
court.
They tell them to call CPS.
Yeah. And so she does that, starts this whole case, and then Brent's notified, you know, that he can't see the
He's got a
kids
protective order against
while
him.
this is all going on,
Right.
you know. And so everything's going on. And so they're interviewing Brynlee and, you know, gathering all this information and so forth. And they basically conclude, based off of Brynlee's information, that there was valid abuse happening to her. And like, this does go on for a while. I'm just kind of like nutshelling like the story, right? And then after they're going through that and they're investigating, Brent's lawyer doesn't feel that this is adequate. And somehow, I forget exactly what happened, you might know, they shift gears and they're like, no, we need another social worker's opinion on this case. And so they give the case to a different social worker who evaluates everything, interviews, Brynlee and so forth. And they determine that there's not abuse there. There's not enough evidence there to determine abuse, and that they feel that the mom is doing parental alienation.
Yeah. God, I can't say that.
I know.
Sorry.
It's a weird one.
You
no, you're fine. Which is crazy to me. Like, when that happened in the show, I was like, why? Like, what? Like, I just didn't understand why they felt like they needed to have another person come in and like go through the whole case to then just come up with a whole other like opposite, like rebuttal to it. You know what I mean?
I mean, and that's so hard. That's got to make the kids feel so invalidated.
Yeah, and unheard, and like, you know what I mean?
Because this court system, as they explained in the show, that, there are sometimes kids who don't want to go live with mom or dad. So they come up, and I'm not saying that it's not true, but the court says that sometimes the kids will come up with stories to perpetuate a case against mom or dad or whatever the case may be.
Which
so they were
trying
happens. To, give Brent the best benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
That he could.
Which kind of backfired for them in the long run.
Yeah.
But the second social
he takes
worker,
a polygraph. That's right.
Yeah, the dad.
Brent takes a polygraph and he's found 99.9% he was telling the truth.
Right. That he did not.
We all know polygraphs are
whatever.
A fun little test they like to give you sometimes because they don't really.
Yeah, they don't. It's not an admissible thing that they can do in court. Like they can mention it, but it's not like a very like valid.
It's
thing.
not. Yeah, it's not facts. Like there's like a lot of inconclusive results.
Yes.
And things like that. And they say, oh, well, he was telling 99.9% of the truth on these questions, but we got an inconclusive result on these questions sort of thing. And that's what makes, to me, a lie detector test kind of invalid.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, are you measuring my juju? What are you doing?
How are they asking the question? You know, like there's, I don't know.
Is Brent under the influence of something that would slow his heart rate down?
Right.
We don't him out. Like
we don't know.
Yeah.
Remember, he was or is. He's not dead.
No.
He is part of like a very in-rooted.
Yeah, his parents.
His family is very in-rooted into
super rooted into the LDS, the Mormon church.
And I'm not saying anything.
No.
But
holy cow, how many of these have we done where this has been a common thread?
Right.
Involving kids. Even.
Yes.
This is the part that kills me. I mean, I understand we got creepers everywhere in all corners. But there's like in all religions,
at least 3 or 4 that we've watched
that have been
in the community and abuse on children. Yeah.
I don't.
But I was saying like the fact that he's so like in-rooted could have potentially helped him in the case of like washing.
Yeah, he's a God-fearing man. And he's huge in the church, and
right.
I mean, he also had a girlfriend at the time, Sadie.
Yeah, which they ended up getting remarried, and then she ended up leaving him when all of these things came out.
Sandy comes forward and says that Brent had told her to say things. Brent had told her to say that she was in the room when he was applying cream to the girl, and that she was not afraid to leave BJ alone with her daughters because she had 2 daughters from a previous marriage, I guess. So, and then she comes forward and says, no, this is, I have to be honest here. He told me to say this. Like he guided these conversations.
Yeah.
And then both of the wives to this man said that he was very controlling. Like he wanted, would text bomb them whenever they were out without him. Like he would rule the house with like finances and just super duper duper strict. And which is also another common thread that I've seen in this LDS community is that the men are very like,
controlling.
Yes.
Some a little bit possessive kind of.
And I mean, and again, and I'm not knocking the religion, because I know there are other religions where men have more power over women, and that's what people follow, and that's fine. But like, I mean, both of these women stated that this is how he acted, and that's why they left him.
Yes. And so when the allegations happened, Sandy and Jessica met up for lunch. And Sandy told Jessica a one statement and just said, Brynlee is telling the truth.
Basically, yeah. Like, wild.
That's all she said, you know,
and
and that was enough validation for Jessica to be like, okay.
Continue to fight to try and get Brent to go away.
Yeah. What's interesting though is maybe they just didn't talk about it in this show, but I wonder if they interviewed her kids.
They probably did.
You know, it would be I would have been interested to know, like,
I'm sure CPS had their fingers in both sides of the family and all the kids.
Sandy was probably like not wanting to have her kids involved in that.
No. I mean, Brent didn't even come out till the very end.
Yeah. So yes, in the middle of kind of the case or whatever, they switch and that new social worker gets it. And I didn't like her at all, because the way that she was kind of speaking about the case, or just in general.
Talking after the JP Lilly guy. Yeah. So Ty's favorite therapist was this gentleman named JP Lilly, and he confided in him a lot, and JP Lilly was giving him a lot of like confidence and, you know, congratulating him on standing up. I think we might have glassed over this, but during one of the visitations, this is while these accusations are going on. So Brent takes a GoPro and like sets it up with them when he's having these visitations. And during one of these, Ty goes and just pops off and he says, Brynlee and I are having nightmares about you. We know the stuff that you're doing to us. Like, we know that you're being gross. We don't, you know, and you just don't want to get caught. That's why you're denying this whole thing.
Yeah. We don't want to see you anymore.
I don't want to see you anymore. And I mean, in this poor boy is like, what, 12?
Like, yeah, probably, yeah.
Or 13 at the time, 11 or 12. I don't know, somewhere in that range.
Pretty young.
And that's huge for a little boy.
Yeah.
To stand up to his father and be like,
this is what is happening.
Right. And a lot of that, and a lot of that confidence, we believe, came from JP Lilly. And so that's why the courts were like, this guy's too much of an influence. We need to find a different social worker. And that's when
that lady came into play. But I just didn't like
lady
her
because
she was like,
because she's the one that's talking about.
Kids need to know how kids don't know anything. She's like, if
kids are not in control,
they're not in control. If they were, you know, if they didn't have any whatever rules, you know, they would stay up all night. They wouldn't go to school, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, lady, kids still have feelings. Like, and if your kid can articulate their feeling about something or something that's happening to them, there should be no reason to question that.
It makes me wonder what kind of household she grew up in.
Dude, or what kind of household she runs if she has kids.
Yeah.
Like drill sergeant, bro. Dude. Like, I just didn't like the way that she said that. And I was like, she just made it seem like she wasn't actually there for the kids. She was looking for reasons for it not to be the kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then she starts talking about, she was the one that introduced I can't even say the freaking word.
The reunification therapy.
Yes. Which I don't know if you guys have heard of that. Reunification therapy.
So basically what happens is if there's an estranged parent, in this situation, it was Brent, the court system comes in and says, okay, with this reunification therapy, what's going to happen is we're going to take the kids and the father in this case and put them all together for 90 days and make them be friends, like make them like each other again.
No contact with mom.
No contact with mom.
No. And
like the cops have the permission from the courts to retrieve these kids from their from their home with force. And so they showed clips from like TikTok of like kids being pulled out of their garages and their houses, kicking and screaming.
Like in the middle of the night and like shit like that, dude.
That would be terrifying. Like I read a little excerpt while we were setting up about reunification camps and how controversial they are because it's traumatizing.
Dude, because could you imagine?
In this situation, you're sticking Ty and
Brynlee.
Can never remember her name since it's so close to her father's name. Regardless, it takes the kids and it puts them with their abuser.
Yeah.
And then the court system's like, hey.
And then with the abuser with no contact to mom.
To mom.
Like, that's crazy. So the reason they wanted to do that extremity was because by this time, Ty has refused to visit dad.
He's no longer accepting
and
visitations.
Brynlee is like going sometimes and then not going and going. But when she is going and then coming home, like, it's really hard on her. She has like a whole like emotional moment.
She has to like rebuild after every time she comes up.
Herself, you know? And then, so that's when that social worker was like, we need to push for this, because they felt the mom was brainwashing the kids and making the kids think that this was happening, but it really wasn't happening. And I'm like,
they were like, the mom was creating parental alienation.
So fucking crazy, dude, that the court system is like gaslighting these fucking kids essentially, and like creating a whole different scenario narrative of the situation of what's actually happening.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So by this time, dad does not get convicted of the abuse because they didn't have enough evidence.
He's still not convicted.
No.
He was charged a bunch of times.
Yeah, but he wasn't actually convicted, which is another reason why they had wanted to do
the reunification therapy.
Because
there wasn't enough substantial evidence to back the case.
Right.
Like, they said that there was a couple, like, maybe yes, maybe no, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, they didn't have like any physical evidence, like
which
pictures,
is hard,
video,
like how
anything like that, like, which is
how do you even gather that information?
Yeah, I don't know. Which is
nanny cams and stuff like that.
I guess, you know, but like, I don't know. I just feel like there should have been more done for those kids, I feel like, which we'll get to here. But so they're cruising along through this toxic fucking
reunification therapy
you
stuff.
know. The police are like coming to the house to come get the kids.
Right.
Like, they're expecting
to take them to reunification camp.
And the kids are like, fuck no, we're not going. So they decide to barricade themselves in their bedroom, in Ty's bedroom. So they go around and grab a bunch of supplies, which they were super smart about.
Right.
Things that he got.
I love that.
He grabbed like a fire extinguisher. You know, he had like
ramen noodles, a
things
blender,
to cook with.
Yeah, like he set up a whole little camping station. He cut
in their
a
bathroom,
hole in the drywall between
their
his
closet
bedroom and the bathroom. Barricaded the bathroom door as well. And used like half the bathroom for like a cooking cleaning station, and then the rest was just him.
They had like
just Ty and Brynlee
snacks
in the room,
their shit, and the doors were boarded,
barricaded,
and
stacked
stuff
with dressers, like they
in front
were
of them,
not coming out.
No. And they just did it like impulsively, like didn't tell mom like this is what we're doing, and they did this in mom's house.
Yeah.
And so mom like comes home one day or whatever.
Yeah, no, mom was out. They know that this is happening. And so mom comes home, sees that everybody's barricaded, because Ty basically goes, hey, if this is going to happen, we need to take action now.
Yeah.
Because they're going on TikTok and all of this stuff and seeing these horrible scenes of kids being taken away forcibly from their homes to go to this reunification process.
Right.
And so they're like, I'm not doing this. I don't want to do this.
They don't want to.
And so they say,
I don't blame them.
You cannot take me. And then they put themselves away.
Yes.
Which is great. And then they also use the power of social media.
Yeah. Like when mom came home though and like realized, she's like, what the fuck?
Dude.
She's like, oh my, could you imagine?
Could you imagine like what the heck once like she sees this gigantic hole in her drywall through her bathroom? I mean, that's genius.
Yeah, no, like
I mean, what a way to make it your own.
Yeah, like I give him kudos for that. So by this time, he's like 17 years old. So this whole case has been going on for like 7 years at this point, which is a long fucking time to be dealing with this shit. And so they're in there. And you're right. He starts live streaming on TikTok
every single day. Well, because like what happens is the cops show up to try and take him, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, dun, 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 you got to come out. You got to come out. We have a court order sign saying that we can take you with reasonable force. You got to come out. You got to come out. And they're like, no. Heck no, we won't go. Heck no, we won't go, basically. And then something happens. I mean, because all of this, again,
which is
being
weird.
streamed live.
Yes.
So
but I don't think the cops knew that it was being streamed live at that time.
I don't
know. It wasn't disclosed whether they knew or not.
But they thought that the power of being on was what helped them stay in the room, because the cops are like, all right, we just got a call from our supervisor and
they told us to back off.
They told us to back off. We're not going to come get you.
I wonder what was said on that phone call.
Yeah, like why? If they had reasonable force to take him down, why didn't I'm happy that didn't happen.
Same, but I wonder why what
transpired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But so they're in there, they're live streaming
this
everything.
Whole thing.
They're telling their story about it. They're getting social media is going crazy. Like crazy as it would or something like that. Yeah. Mom realizes that they're live streaming, and because she wasn't really a TikTok user, so then she starts streaming and posting videos, and so they're simultaneously posting and live streaming at the same time, and from in the same house, but not together.
Nope,
which is wild
because the kids stay barricaded for 54 days.
Yes.
Because they don't know if the cops are going to return. Because the cops said, okay, no, not today.
Right.
But they don't know about tomorrow.
Right.
They don't know about next week.
Yeah. So
the cops could still be like, ha-ha, and get them on a surprise. Right. Get them on a jump. And
because they would do that, some shit like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I was a cop, I'd use my noodle.
Yeah. So they're going, they're getting tons of support online. There were GoFundMes and stuff started all over the place for them,
The crazy power of social media, dude. The people that band together and are like, BJ, we're going to come find you and we're going to mess you up is wild to me. I hate and enjoy the fact that social media has that much power. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
It shouldn't, but it does.
There were protests being organized and stuff like that, and which some of them they weren't bad, but they were definitely
aggressive.
People were aggressive, and
they're trying
emotions
to save
were
the
heightened.
Kids, man. Are you kidding me? All of this is
So because social media got so big, they fucking pulled the case essentially.
Yeah, they took back the reunification camp and just sent the whole thing to court.
Yes. To the judge again to reevaluate everything.
Right.
And it took the judge again 2 months to reevaluate the whole case and so forth, and to figure out essentially who was going to get custody of the kids.
Right.
And it turned out that Jessica still ended up with full custody with them, but they had to go to
had visitation with
BJ weekly, and it was starting that next week or some crazy shit. And the little girl starts freaking out. Ty freaks out, and he ends up trying to leave to get himself emancipated, but has to prove to the court that he can take care of himself, which he did really well for a while. And then he said he got lonely,
which makes sense, especially when you're trauma bonded with your sister. It's kind of spicy just to get up and leave your sister. Yeah. I mean, I get it. He's looking out for himself, but
and also trying to make a statement.
For me, the guilt would also set in.
Yeah. I'm sure it was a little bit of everything. Yeah. For him.
He said it was the loneliest time of his life.
Yeah.
He's
because he was fresh out into this big ass world, unhealed.
Yeah. Yeah. He had a little job and a little apartment. Yeah. And he was doing his own thing, but he's man.
It's this sucks. So they basically have to work through that until Ty is 18, essentially. But when they go to the hearing for the final custody, whatever agreement,
right?
The dad, Brent or BJ,
whatever,
signs his parental rights over. Finally. And that's what Jessica, the mom, had wanted from the beginning. Yeah. She had filed a couple petitions for that to happen,
And during this whole process, Brynlee is going to visitations with her father.
Yeah.
And it's off and on. It's sometimes good, sometimes bad still. And this poor girl is maintaining the flow for everyone while her brother stays back.
Right.
And just doesn't go. I mean, stands his ground, which is good.
He's they both took a stance in different ways,
right?
And I think she was so much younger than him, and she's a girl.
Yeah.
Like there's so much more like emotion and like weird emotions and
so wild though.
Different things to understand. Not saying that Ty had it any differently in trying to work through anything, but like just on a different level, you know, like I don't know how.
I'm sure there's a different scale of emotion.
Yeah, for sure. So real quick, at the end of the show, the dad comes in and gives like a final like letter to the kids.
Final little speech.
First of all, I thought it was the dumbest. Like, his words were nice, sure.
You could tell he was reading off a screen trying to hold it together. I mean, I would be too, especially if that was the situation I was in.
I'm sorry. If this is going to be possibly my final letter to my kids, I'm not going to read a fucking script that someone or ChatGPT wrote for me.
Well, he probably wrote it himself and he's reading it from the screen.
I know.
Because like I can't, I would hate to put myself in his shoes, and I'm not going to put myself in his shoes for very long, but I understand the words that he's reading off the screen are very hard.
Yeah.
And I mean, and honestly, if I'm trying to give a presentation or if I'm trying to speak with, you know, clarity and confidence, I would like a little bit of a prompt. So I'm sure that he used whatever he wrote or whatever was typed out for him as like this is what I got to do to keep it together. Because of course he was like, you know, you could see the tears in his eyes and his like breath was quaky. And I mean, and I think, you know, it's just a way of him being able to speak those words without completely losing it, I think is what
I'm sure
he's
that's
using the letter for.
You're a better person than me, because I was like, this piece of shit. I was like, he's just reading a fucking scripted thing, and like there was like no change in his voice. He was just like monotone. Like he was just reading the script. Like, yeah, there was emotion in his eyes, but like that was it. You know what I mean?
Like, I mean, I see what you're saying. I mean, I heard a little bit of wavering. I could see his body language and like the flush in his face, and like there's a lot. I mean, who am I to judge?
But that was just my perspective of like, or perception of like him.
Well, and I mean, and we're going through this with the knowledge that he's gross. Yeah. So like, I have no sympathy for him. I can only have like empathy for the situation.
Like if I was his kid and I saw that, I would like yeah, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing heartfelt or genuine about that.
No, it did feel kind of cold. I felt like
it felt scripted. Like here's what you're gonna say. That was like
the only way he was gonna be able to get through it. Is
maybe
if
I don't know.
He did it this way,
and then even in court when he was talking about a couple times.
Yeah, he was super weird. He was just
weird in court, and like
I see what you're saying.
And he wasn't like that in other. What's that noise? Do you hear that?
Yeah. I don't know what it is though.
That's weird. Like a helicopter.
Which makes me fucking worried because I've got my motorcycle outside, but my keys are right here.
We have motorcycle neighbors.
Okay.
Also. Yeah. No, you're good. I have to like put in the helicopter sound.
Yeah,
like, during that part.
Because that's what we heard.
Sorry, I just like heard that and I was like, wait, what is that?
Yeah, that's a frequency we don't normally hear down here.
Yeah, we don't normally hear things down here. So I was like, wait a second.
Especially with headphones.
Yeah, so I just felt like in court he was just kind of the same way.
Yeah, kind of cold, kind of just
he didn't seem that way in the way that he was described by Jessica.
Yeah.
Prior to the allegations.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that was just like my opinion of him.
Yeah,
and all of that.
I've got really no opinion for him. He can do what he does.
Okay.
But I'm happy to see that Jessica's husband, Aaron, adopted the kids.
Yes.
And gave them, you know, the best he could for a stable life, because he's been in their life since Jessica divorced Brent.
Yeah, like on the sidelines going through all of this with all of them. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I commend him for sticking through that. Yes. Because I'm sure that's probably wasn't
so
easy.
Hard. Yeah.
And I loved that Jessica brought her kids food while they were barricaded.
Oh yeah, she'd like stuff Subway under the door.
You know what I mean? Like I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know? Of
well, I mean,
course.
because what else you can't get him out of there.
Cut a hole in the fucking wall, you know, to put food through.
Like
I
a
would
little
do
porthole.
something.
Yeah,
I would figure something out. I wouldn't let my kids starve either, obviously.
Right. Especially if you know that all they have up there is pancake mix, ramen, and other
Brynlee's like,
food.
In the mornings I would eat ramen, and I'm like, well, I mean, at least it's something.
I had ramen this morning.
You know, I mean, I couldn't eat that in the morning. That would probably make me want to throw up. But there's like certain foods in the morning that I'm like, I could never eat that in the morning. Like that is not a morning food for me.
Interesting.
The other day, Gracie was I'm gonna make a sandwich, and it was in the morning time, and I was like, a breakfast sandwich?
I don't know. I like a savory breakfast.
And she's like, no.
Nah. Turkey,
and I was
cheese,
like,
tomato, lettuce. Yeah.
Girl, what? So my final thoughts on this show is it is interesting to see like how the system can not always be there for the kids.
I don't like the fact that the system needs like pictures and videos of the abuse in order to substantiate it. Now I understand when that happens, you have to be sure that is happening.
Yes.
Because you don't want to just be blindly like shooting people off saying, hey, you did this and you did this.
Right,
and
just
you
because
did
your
this,
kid said
just
so.
Just because your kid said so. And especially when it comes to divorce, because I've heard a lot about kids in divorce and parents pitting the kids against the other parent.
Yes.
What do they call that? Parental alienation. And trying to like ostracize the mom or the dad or whatever the case may be. So like, I know that this is a very delicate, paper thin situation and you have to be sure.
Yes.
So I get why the courts are, I wouldn't say thorough, but why they're always like,
yeah.
But like,
I get it.
The amount of just like cases like this and
like, or like, I feel like
it's wild to me. It's like, there's got to be something better.
Yeah. There are many cases. You know, I know of people who have dealt with CPS type cases. Right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And, you know, where parents are taken away from the biological parents or the kids are taken away from the biological parents. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they're in like dealing with the system and it's crazy and it's hard and it's never going. It doesn't seem like it's in the in the benefit of the kids.
Like family court process system just drags on and on and on until either the kids age out or you run out of money.
Pretty much.
And I was like, that's wild.
And that's literally what it seems like, dude. Like if you look at cases,
like this case specifically is exactly what happened. I mean, Ty turned 17. He almost aged out, and then both of the families said that, hey, we're out of money. Like we fought this for like $300,000. Like
and both families are still paying legal fees and they probably will be paying for the rest of their lives.
A long time.
Which is wild.
That's a lot of money.
And like there's just so many things wrong with this and like that could be done better. Like there's got to be a way that they can determine like, okay, let's look at the cases that we have physical evidence for, right? Like we know for sure that this happened and maybe evaluate like how those kids responded to the questions and you know what I mean? How they answered the questions during their investigation or whatever and compare that to someone who, you know, they didn't have or they know for sure was making a false statement.
Right.
You know
that's
what I mean?
Hard.
And I mean, it is hard because like you said, it is probably very paper thin. You know what I mean? But I feel like kids that are telling the truth about something like that, like she's not going to just like take her towel off and start putting lotion there, like because out of her own thought.
That's like not instinctual.
That is not an instinctual thing to do unless someone showed her or has done that repetitively, you know, to her, you know what I mean? And then created a name for it, you know, to call it, you know what I mean? And I think those little details, I think, is what should be like the determining factor of like what's leaning more toward more truthful and what's not, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because at the time she was 7 and then going into details of things that had happened. Like, I just don't think a 7-year-old has the brain capacity to make up stuff like that. Because at 7, if you're not being abused, you don't know what the fuck that shit is.
Right. And unfortunately,
you know what I mean?
The argument to that is like, oh, well, the mom's telling her what to say, which is even wilder. Like, that's so gross.
No, yeah, it's so fucking gross.
I don't think that happened. I mean, yeah, maybe Jessica put some negative connotation on Brent, but I don't think it was to the extent of this kind of abuse. I mean, I'm sure she was like, either. Your dad's kind of a dummy, but
right.
I don't think it was tell the judge how your dad takes care of hot butt.
Right. You know?
No.
Like, because that's so detailed, you know, and like she didn't really deter in the things that she had said. Like she was pretty like consistent, you know, and I think that should be like
a signal.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. There's just needs to be something done like more for these kids.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
And it's super, super sad because like who's going to be the one?
Yeah. Who's going to make that decision?
Yeah. Like it's so far.
Yeah. How do you break and then reform the wheel in this?
Yeah. Like it's messed up.
I don't know, man.
Super messed.
Just get different people who can make better decisions for the system.
Right? Better social workers.
I don't know if it's. I think the social workers are so far down on the bottom.
I don't think it needs
to be people in legislation.
Yeah. Wild.
Very,
wild, guys.
very,
super
very
sad.
Super
but
sad.
Happy that the kids are doing well.
They're living with their mom.
You know.
They're thriving.
They're, living life,
going
whatever.
Through therapy.
Don't know what Brent's doing. Don't care. Didn't look it up.
Didn't follow his story.
No. But if you guys have any insights on, on this story, or if you guys watched it, let us know what you think. The barricade situation is pretty crazy. I thought that's kind of like what caught my attention about this one. I was like, what? These kids barricaded themselves? Like, I need to watch this,
Yeah.
Because that is quite the statement.
Yeah.
And, pretty crazy.
It was proven they didn't get taken. So
yeah, pretty crazy
congratulations to them.
Anyways, guys, we will be here next week. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.